switch. And with their aerodynamics being so important, see what happens here. Todd Gilliland gets up on a loose Matt Crafton and slips to the inside. And that cost Matt Crafton, talked about that long front straightaway. He suffered all the way down the front because of that contact.
Gilliland running 9th, and remember, while Crafton is on the bubble, it's Gilliland that needs the win if he's going to make the playoffs. Crafton could point his way in. Gilliland has to win to get in.
Running out of chances too, Vince.
Michigan and Bristol, the only 2 remaining races in the regular season. Gilliland did win. Gilliland did win the K&N race at Bristol earlier this year, so maybe that's a place that he certainly would feel comfortable at, albeit quite different in a truck.
I never liked to go into Bristol thinking I had to finish, let alone had to win. That place is tough, and with the playoff spot on the line, we're liable to see about anything when we get up to Tennessee.
Joe Nemechek, got to tip the cap to Papa Joe. He has done a heck of a job today running 4th. Johnny Sauter on his back bumper.
Johnny would love to put a little something in between himself and Stuart Friesen. We saw them battling just a couple laps to go. What a great run off the corner for Johnny Sauter.
Yeah, it looked like a tough exit for Nemechek, and Johnny was right on the spot to take advantage of it.
Johnny's able to clear Nemechek before they get to the corner and the lap truck of Norm Benning.
12 laps remaining.
Look at Sauter. He got trapped behind Benning. That's going to slow that duo down and open up the door for Friesen. Can he squeeze in there?
Well, you lose a little momentum, and somebody behind you is going to pounce in a moment.
They're just not nice, Vince. They just take advantage of you every time they can.
Spotter saying, watch the 8, watch the 8. And I think Friesen's thinking, that kid in the 8's tough. Oh, that's not the kid. That's the dad. That's the old man. And what a run it's been for him.
Justin Haley taking a peek behind the 52 of Friesen.
That's just hard racing. They're not taking the easy way out, blocking, side drafting. You see it all here as the laps wind down in Pocono.
While they battle a little deeper in the field, that's 4th, 5th, and 6th, 7th.
It's tightening up here, Vince.
Under a second at the front, where Kyle Busch leads Eric Jones, but Jones is coming.
That's right there. He's starting to really pick up that draft down the long front straightaway, be able to pull up. And maybe he'll take a bit of a different run through the corner to try to get air on the nose of his truck.
1/4 of a second gain that time by Jones in the 18.
Boy, that's when you just try to get it maybe a foot at a time, huh, Phil? If Jones goes in there and tries to overdrive that truck, he'll lose everything he's gained. So that's the young man just driving that truck right as hard as he can, but he doesn't want to overdo it and get wide and have to back off the gas and lose all that ground he's made up.
How about if you're Kyle Busch and you look in the mirror and say, this is one of my proteges in one of my trucks here, and he's chasing me down.
Plus, he never practiced it. He hopped in it about an hour before the race started and took advantage of the setup that Noah Gregson, that whole team, do such a great job. And the way that that truck was set up certainly appeals to Eric Jones.
Heavy traffic too here, guys.
Lap traffic ahead of them. Yet Jones, if you just joined us, Noah Gregson fell ill today, had not been feeling well, was unable to qualify the truck. Eric Jones called on at the last minute to get in, hadn't turned a single lap before this race in that 18 truck. It's his first truck race since the middle of the 2016 season, and now Jones alongside Kyle Busch for the lead into the tunnel turn.
Ooh, look at Kyle fight back on the outside.
Side by side, Eric Jones on the inside and Kyle Busch on the outside. Less than 10 to go.
Kyle got a little bit tight off the corner because of that lap traffic, and Jones was there to tromp, but Kyle Busch holds him off with a great move through the tunnel. Wow.
Not expected to be the last challenge that Kyle Busch will have to fend off, because it seems as though maybe Eric Jones has the faster Tundra.
Yeah, I think without a doubt right now he has the faster truck.
Of course, it's a big day for Kyle Busch as well, trying to match that number on his truck, the 51. It would be his 51st career win in the Truck Series. That would tie the all-time record currently held by Ron Hornaday. And this is the last Truck Series start of the season for Kyle, so Surely someday down the road, if it's not today, he will get it, but this is his last chance to get it this season.
Kyle Busch is the guy I would want behind the wheel if I had a faster truck behind me and the guy got to try to figure out how to hold him off.
Well, that move through the tunnel where he came around the outside 3 wide with the lap truck, that shows you how determined Busch is to hold off Jones. What about these two? They've driven away from the field, haven't they? They got a comfortable margin to settle it among themselves, but I tell you, it's going to be tough for Jones to make that move work.
Third place, by the way, Dalton Sargent, 9 seconds behind. I mean, it is down to these two, Kyle Busch and Eric Jones, with 7 to go.
See Kyle trying to break the draft a little bit over Jones.
And there's the third place truck of Dalton Sargent. It's been a good run for Sargent today.
Great run for Dalton Sargent.
The rookie.
Yeah, he's got Johnny Sauter, Stuart Friesen, Justin Haley, 3 of the fastest trucks all year long, all behind Sargent. Great job.
That Performance Plus Motor Oil Chevrolet has been good, and it has been strong. Tip of the cap to Doug Randolph, the crew chief. Done a great job.
Lap traffic ahead. There's Bo Lamastis. We saw him stay out earlier, so his tires are worn. It'll be interesting to see where Kyle catches these lappers and if that presents another opportunity for Jones to make the move.
Yeah, Jones caught him perfectly last time.
Eric
was able
Jones,
to get up beside him.
Excuse me, Phil. Eric Jones, former series champion, 2015. He's won 7 times in the Truck Series. Got his first Cup win earlier this month at Daytona. What a memorable day that was for him. As Johnny Sauter sees Stuart Friesen move inside for 4th.
We talked about how much these guys have battled, and it hasn't always turned out well. Some contact between the two of them, but man, strong move there at the tunnel for Friesen.
I thought maybe Johnny might try to cross him over on exit, but Stuart was able to get back to the throttle and squeeze on out a little bit over Johnny.
5 laps left.
Dalton Sargent there in the yellow truck, leading that long line of trucks that are in a draft, trying to gain ground on Sargent.
What a confidence builder it is for Dalton Sargent, just 20 years old, from Boca Raton, Florida. He might be 10 seconds behind Busch and Jones, but this is a big day for this young man in his career.
We mentioned he had good speed at Chicago, didn't get a good finish.
Wow.
As we see a 3-wide battle for the 5th spot.
Enfinger trying to grab some extra points.
We can't do this 3-wide through the tunnel, can we?
No way. What about the guy in the middle saying, I'm not letting off? That's the toughest place to be, but they did it. 3 wide through the tunnel. Wow.
Haley out of it a little bit, and Sauter finally going to close the door on him. Can't believe they made it through without bringing out a caution. And that's certainly something Busch and Jones don't want to see right now. They don't want a caution.
No, they want to settle amongst themselves.
They sorted that out somehow.
There's Stuart Friesen, the blue truck. He's got our 4th spot right now.
And he's driven away from that mess, and you can see why. He's 3 wide across the tunnel. You're going to lose a lot of ground. I think that helped Friesen focus on the truck ahead of him. You could see up there, that was Sargent.
That's a good day for Friesen as well in the points category. He came into this race 7th in the point standings, just behind Grant Enfinger and in front of Matt Crafton. And Friesen is ahead of both of them. And meanwhile, Kyle Busch has opened it up now by just over a second over Eric Jones with 3 laps remaining.
That lap truck's not going to help Jones either, I don't think. Could mess his exit to 1 up.
See, Kyle gained a half a second in the last 3 laps on Eric Jones.
There you can see what I talked about, the momentum loss there because of timing. Timing was how he got that big run earlier, and timing has cost him here the last couple of laps.
What Kyle Busch has done in the Truck Series is amazing, and I know he's a Cup star, he's a Cup champion, but he has won almost 35% of every truck race he's entered. I mean, that's just staggering.
It is unbelievable, really, what he's done in this series, as well as the Xfinity Series. And I mean, 190 combined wins across the 3 major series of NASCAR. 190.
2 laps left for Kyle Busch. Meanwhile, Justin Haley trying to get past Johnny Sauter for 5th.
He's going to do it.
And does. Teammates there at GMS and Grant Infinger coming to get into it as well.
You know, we talk about what a great day it is for Kyle Busch and Kyle Busch Motorsports. It's got to be a little bit disappointing for Todd Gilliland, seeing those 2 team trucks up there running 1-2, and he desperately needs to win a win to make the playoff, and he finds himself back in 8th position.
We talked about it when we replayed it. That little bobble over there in turn number 1, when there was some heavy traffic, cost him all that momentum, and he's not been able to overcome it.
And that is Gilliland right there behind the red and white 21 of Sauter. Gilliland in the 4 truck. Kyle Busch out front taking the white flag. 2.5 miles to go for Kyle.
Erik Jones might be shaking his head a bit. Where'd he go? I ran him down earlier and passed him. I ran him down and nearly passed him again, and Kyle put it into overdrive.
Well, that was a great side-by-side battle for Kyle Busch and Erik Jones, and it was the one opportunity it seemed that Jones had to pass Kyle, and he just couldn't quite finish him off, and Kyle has since stretched it out and is on his way.
He is jetting off.
I'd say that was a little bit more of a battle than Kyle Busch wanted.
It is a storied career. Cup champion, a threat to win every time out, regardless of what series it is. And today, Kyle Busch wins his 51st in the Truck Series, tying the all-time mark of Ron Hornaday. Kyle Busch wins at Pocono.
Another great story. Vince Hillman got the win for his kids, too. That's got to be a special feeling for that man right there, having his children with him as he engineered that trip to victory lane for one of the best truckers ever. I guess you'd have to say the best trucker ever.
Some great stories, though, up in the top 10. Erik Jones obviously jumps in that truck at the last minute, not one lap of practice. Starts in the back and drives to second. And Dalton Sargent with a career day to me and finishing 3rd here.
And Stuart Friesen just shows that he's going to be championship worthy. He's going to have a chance to win this baby. He races well on the short tracks. He races well on the big tracks from the back to top 5 here.
It's fitting that Kyle would be in the 51 truck today. He's also driven the 4 truck earlier this season, but today driving the 51 and getting career win number 51 in the Truck Series. And ties Hornaday, who is another great one, a Hall of Famer for sure,
yeah.
and is a Hall of Famer.
That's definitely the 2 best ever.
Yeah, look at the number of starts it took to get to those 51 wins. 145, over 35% of the time you mentioned, Vince, he's gone to victory lane when he started a truck race.
And I know there will be some that say, oh, he's a Cup champ. He's cherry picking down in the Truck Series, but say what you will, and the amount of runs that he has and winning as often as he does, I don't care what series you're from and what the situation is, and just the limited amount of runs he has, super impressive.
He sure is. Remember, was it Atlanta that he was leading the race, really dominated the race in Atlanta? When the wheel came off, he probably would have won that one too.
They build their own chassis.
And that's a brand new one right there, Vince.
Look at that Goodyear rubber he's thrown all over the racetrack there. That's an impressive victory and an impressive burnout.
And Kyle takes great pride in not just the fact that he wins as a driver, but that he wins as a team owner and as an organization. Kyle Busch Motorsports has established itself as the premier organization in the Truck Series, and he takes great pride in that, as he should. Well, the winning crew chief is Mike Hillman Jr.
Yeah, Vince, and he's got his family here with him this weekend for the first time, gets to experience a victory with you. How rewarding is this one for you, Mike?
It's just awesome to see how hard everybody at KBM works. Rowdy Manufacturing and everything we got going on. Everybody on this Beechcraft Toyota Tundra has done a heck of a job all week. You know, when Kyle's in the truck, this is what expected of you, but we just had to execute all day, and he did a great job holding off Eric at the end. Just super excited to go to victory lane with all these guys. They work really hard.
Nicely done. Enjoy it. That's Mike Hillman Jr.'s 22nd career Truck Series win as a crew chief, guys.
Well, and it's also big. It stops that, what Michael didn't want to call it a drought, but it's seven races without a win. It had been the longest in about 3 years for KBM in the Truck Series, but they got that win here today to end that streak, and back in victory lane for Kyle Busch Motorsports.
How about that burning rubber?
Yeah.
He was on fire today, wasn't
yeah.
he? Eric Jones finished second. He's with Hermie.
Well, Vince, we got Eric. I know this probably wasn't how you were expecting to spend your Saturday afternoon, but anytime you get a chance to get in and race something like this, I know you got to enjoy that opportunity.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, you know, it's not just getting out and running a race, but it's getting to run a race in a really good truck. And it's been a while since I've been in a truck, a solid 2 or 3 years, but had fun. I mean, the Safe Light Tundra, it was probably fast enough to win. I just needed to get back out front and couldn't quite do it. You know, starting third on that restart. Had to get around 8 in the 25, and I thought we were going to clear them right here, but just not quite enough. But a fun race. I mean, thanks to the KBM guys, Rudy, for giving me a really good truck. I mean, I had a blast, and you know, hopefully get to do it again sometime.
You've been a pretty big part of Kyle Busch Motorsports through the years. Now, of course, the Joe Gibbs Racing. Kyle, win number 51 in all the races that organization has won. What did racing for this organization as you were coming up the ladder, what did it mean to you?
It was special. I mean, you know, it's awesome to see what it's turned into. You know, when I was first starting out there, it was still a fairly young company, and you know, they hadn't even won a race without a Cup driver in the car. So I was, me and Bubba Wallace are the first 2 guys to get some wins in these trucks outside of Cup guys. So it's been fun to be a part of it, and now to see it continue to grow with young drivers coming up through with Noah, Todd, and all these guys that get to run these trucks. It's fun to see them go out and battle it out.
Eric Jones comes out of the bullpen today. He finishes second.
Yeah, one of the 10 drivers that have won for Kyle Busch Motorsports. 68 wins for this organization. And Caitlin is in victory lane with Kyle Busch.
And it is already a celebration here for Kyle Busch. And that 51st career win for him. All smiles on his face, the crew's face. Kyle, after everything you put in for this truck series, both as a team owner, as a driver, how special is this win for you, tying this record?
It's awesome. I can't say enough about everybody at Kyle Busch Motorsports and everybody that's gotten these win totals to where they're at, you know, with racing with Billy Ballou and racing KBM stuff. And back in the heyday with, I don't think I won a race with Morgan Dollar, but I ran with those guys. You know, it's certainly just a true testament to all the hard work and everybody, all the dedication and perseverance everybody has at Kyle Busch Motorsports to give me such a fast Cessna Beechcraft Tundra here. You know, the guys at TRD do an awesome job for us, thanks to Toyota, Incredible Bank, Black Clover, DVX Eyewear, Rowdy Manufacturing. It's a lot of hard work and a lot of great people, and wouldn't be here without them.
Now, we saw Eric Jones filling in for Noah Gregson there in the 18 truck, kind of battling with you. What was that like there?
Yeah, they were. They had a better truck than us here this weekend. The 18 did. I tried, and we tried to fix this thing and work on it and make it better, but I probably made it slower in all the things that I changed on it rather than making it faster. But Rudy and those guys are amazing. They do such a great job, and I knew Eric was going to be fast in that truck, and I knew Noah was going to be fast in that truck. They were the ones that we had to beat, you know, so I wish we were a tick faster, but obviously being that little bit slower, we put on a better show. Eric was able to run me down and get there, and I did everything I could to hold him off. I knew if I could pinch him for a few laps after he had that time to cool his tires getting to me, that I could heat his tires back up, and then I might be able to equal out to him. And that's kind of seemed to be where we fell even with each other there. So, you know, a little bit of strategy play there, and just experience, I guess, being a little bit out front and being able to get through traffic there on that restart to get ourselves that advantage.
Well done. Enjoy this one. Kyle Busch, the winner here at Pocono.
A special day for Kyle and the entire Kyle Busch Motorsports organization. Win number 51. Tying Ron Hornaday in the all-time record.